My 3-year-old daughter recently burst through the front door of our house, and she ran into the room that I was in, and she's waving this new blue plastic shovel, and her eyes are as wide as they can get, and she's darting back and forth going, "Dad, Dad, Dad, new blue shovel, Dad, Dad, new blue shovel, Dad, new blue shovel." You can just see all the gears in her mind spinning, imagining all of the holes that we're going to dig together in the sand. It's like she held in her hand an entryway into a whole new world of possibility and potential. All of it because now she has a new blue plastic shovel. There is this primal sense of wonder and awe in the face of a child when they're fully absorbed in the moment. They're thrilled with this sense of anticipation, just what kind of experiences are right around the corner. It is something to behold, this pure, unbridled joy. Life has a way of beating that wonder and awe out of us, doesn't it? You get betrayed, you pour time and energy and money into something, and then it blows up in your face. It doesn't go the way that you thought it was supposed to, or you lose something, or you lose someone. And it's as if there's this ever so thin layer of hardness that begins to build around your heart. And then you're burned again, and it's like that layer gets a little harder and a little thicker. And so you roll your eyes more frequently, and you're a bit more cynical and jaded and skeptical, and you pull back, you retreat. I mean, why would I stick my neck out if I'm gonna get shot at like that again? And so ever so gradually, with your arms folded over your chest, you become one more spectator. I don't believe this is what God intends for us. As it's written in the Psalms, taste and see that God is good. Well, taste is about the full engagement of our senses. Taste is about our belief that there's way more going on here than we first realized. Taste is about our flesh and blood encounters with the divine in people and places and events. Taste is about your awareness that God is as close and near as your breath. Jesus invites us to this taste, to experience the new thing that God is doing in the world. And he says that to experience this, you must become like a child. Now, there's a distinction to be made here. Childlike is much different than childish. Childish is essentially a posture of the heart. It is a hardness, it is a refusal, it is the resistance of that which isn't thoroughly familiar. Childish is the stomping of the foot, the folding of the arms, the cynical, jaded, there's nothing new here. But childlike is the ways in which you are open to the wonder and awe that is around us every single moment of every single day. Now, there is a great deal of misunderstanding, especially in religious and faith communities, about the very nature of this taste. And there are, in these days, all sorts of very, very strange, ongoing, heated discussions about trying to get the words right, as if Jesus' highest intention for us is that we would have correct doctrinal thinking. If that's the case, then Jesus would have said, "Blessed are those who are more right than everybody else." It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to taste. It's one thing to be right. It's another thing to be overwhelmed. I actually think this is why so many people, you hear them using this cliche, which is such a cliche that it's become very, very true for so many people when they say, "I am spiritual but not religious." I essentially think what people are saying is that the very institutions that were supposed to cultivate and nurture this wide-eyed sense of wonder about life in God's good world have failed at some very, very profound level, essentially becoming so caught up and so deeply, deeply obsessed with defending and analyzing and holding everything up to this predetermined set of criteria that they at some deep, deep, deep level lost the ability to be surprised, to be filled with wonder and awe. It's interesting when Jesus talks about what we would say would be criteria or results or proof or whatever you want to call it. What Jesus says is that his followers, his people, the ones who are open to the new thing that God is doing in the world, the ones who have said yes to him and trust him, he says you'll know them by their fruit. And fruit comes because you have first tasted. You have tasted of God's love, joy, peace, and grace, and it transforms you from the inside out into a new kind of person. This is the kind of fruit Jesus speaks of. Perhaps this is why when he speaks to his disciples, he says those two words to them, follow me. It's as if he's calling each of us to return to that childlike sense of wonder, awe, and anticipation. He reaches deep down there through all those layers of hardness into our heart and says, follow me. He calls us and confronts us with this invitation to leave behind all of the reasons we have to be jaded and bitter and cynical, because let's be honest, what you look for, you will find in this world. He calls us to leave behind all of our reasons for folding our arms over our chest and becoming one more spectator. And he says, come, follow me, move beyond all that. We all want to be successful, but what we really want is wonder and awe. That's our real desire. Jesus invites us to an experience, to a taste of the full, vibrant, dynamic, electric life of God, which he insists is available to every single one of us right here, right now. So may you rediscover this childlike sense of discovery and anticipation. May you be open to the new thing that God is doing right here, right now. And may you be wide-eyed and filled with wonder and awe.